Does lightning never strike the same place twice? Have you ever heard this saying? It's often used to imply that a stroke of bad luck won't happen again. But science never gives in to such baseless statements. In reality, lightning can and often does visit the same place multiple times. Why is that? Let's explore it together. So, what is lightning and why does it strike? Lightning is a phenomenon of electrical discharge in the atmosphere between clouds and the ground, or between clouds with opposite electrical charges. Clouds can accumulate electrical charge due to the movement of water droplets and ice crystals within them. When the difference in electrical charge between parts of the cloud or between the cloud and the ground becomes large enough, lightning occurs, creating a characteristic flash of light and sound known as thunder. So, why does lightning choose certain places to visit? The answer lies in tall and pointed objects, such as trees, buildings, or even people. These objects act like antennas, attracting lightning. Famous lightning hotspots around the world. First is Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela. Known as the lightning capital of the world, Lake Maracaibo records the highest number of lightning strikes each year. This phenomenon is called Catatumbo lightning. Next are high mountain regions, such as Mount Everest, the Andes, and the Himalayas, which are frequently struck by lightning due to their elevation and harsh weather conditions. If you see the sky starting to thunder, here are a few tips for you. 1. Avoid standing under solitary trees or near tall pointed objects during thunderstorms. 2. Seek safe shelter when you hear thunder. 3. If you are using electricity, unplug electrical devices and avoid using mobile phones. 4. Lastly, don't be complacent. Protect your life. Let's address the second misconception. Have you ever heard someone say that humans only use 10% of their brain capacity? It sounds intriguing, doesn't it? If we could tap into 100% of our brain, we might become superheroes, capable of extraordinary feats like reading minds, moving objects with our thoughts, or any other amazing abilities we can imagine. But unfortunately, that's just a fantasy. The truth is, the 10% brain story has been widely circulated, but there is no scientific evidence to support it. So where did this story come from? It might stem from people's desire for unlimited latent potential, a supernatural power that we haven't discovered yet. Scientists have studied the brain extensively and concluded that we use nearly all of it in our daily activities. Even when we are asleep, our brain is at work regulating heart rate, breathing, and other bodily functions. If we only used 10% of our brain, the rest would become useless and gradually deteriorate. So why do we feel like we haven't fully tapped into our potential? It could be because we haven't learned how to use our brains effectively. For example, when learning a new skill, we need to focus, remember, and connect information. If we do this, our brain will form new neural connections, helping us learn faster and more efficiently. Next, let's address the misconception about blood grooves in swords. It sounds quite terrifying, doesn't it? Have you ever watched a martial arts film and wondered why swords have those peculiar grooves? Many people believe that these grooves help make wounds deeper and cause more bleeding, thereby increasing the likelihood of defeating an opponent. But is that really the case? Let's explore the origin of this misconception. The idea of blood grooves in swords has been around for a long time and is widely propagated through literary and cinematic works. The images of warriors wielding fiery swords cutting through enemies have deeply ingrained themselves in our minds. However, from a scientific perspective, we see that this idea is entirely unfounded. In reality, the grooves on a sword blade serve many different functions, but making wounds bleed more is not one of them. Here are some reasons for the grooves in a sword. First, grooves reduce the weight of the sword, making it easier for the user to control. Second, they increase the rigidity of the blade by removing a portion of the metal. The grooves help enhance the hardness of the blade, reducing the risk of breakage. Third, they improve the sharpness of the sword. Some types of grooves are designed to create sharper edges, helping the sword cut through materials more easily. Fourth, grooves aid in heat dissipation. They help dissipate heat when the sword comes into contact with hard objects, minimizing the risk of damaging the blade. Finally, there is the decorative function. Many types of grooves are created simply for decoration, making the sword more aesthetically pleasing. Thus, the notion of blood grooves is merely a product of imagination. The grooves on a sword actually serve a variety of functions, none of which involve increasing blood flow from wounds. Take a short break, and we'll continue exploring soon. And I'm back now. You may have noticed blue veins on your skin and thought that the blood inside them is blue, right? Actually, this is one of the most common misconceptions about our bodies. The truth is that the blood in veins is not blue, as you might see. Whether in arteries or veins, our blood is red. The red color of blood comes from hemoglobin, a protein containing iron within red blood cells. Hemoglobin's function is to carry oxygen from the lungs to the cells in the body. So why do we see veins as blue? It's due to the interaction of light with our skin. When light hits the skin, different wavelengths are absorbed and reflected in different ways. Our skin absorbs warmer colors like red and orange. Meanwhile, cooler colors like blue and green pass through the skin more easily and are reflected back to our eyes. Therefore, when we look at veins close to the surface of the skin, we see the blue color being reflected back. In summary, the reason we see veins as blue is due to the interaction between light, skin, and our nervous system. It's an interesting optical phenomenon, not the actual color of the blood inside the veins. Now, let's address the final misconception of the day. Have you ever heard the saying, eating a lot before swimming can easily lead to drowning? It sounds quite alarming, right? But is it always as dire as it seems? Let's delve into this issue to find out the real answer. Firstly, where did this rumor come from? It may stem from observations of people who experience cramps or difficulty breathing after eating a large meal and then swimming. From these observations, it was hastily concluded that eating a lot is the main cause of such unfortunate accidents. However, science never accepts such hasty conclusions. Scientists have conducted many studies, and the results are quite surprising. Eating a lot is not the direct cause of drowning. So what are the real causes? They are a combination of several factors. Firstly, foods that are high in fat, spicy, or hot can increase the burden on the digestive system, making the body tired and less focused while swimming. Secondly, eating too much can cause the stomach to be overly full, leading to difficulty breathing, nausea, and potentially accidents while swimming. Next, eating too close to swimming time is not ideal because your body will be dividing blood supply between digestion and swimming. This can make you feel uncomfortable or lead to issues like stomach pain or cramps. Finally, those who do not know how to swim or swim poorly are at greater risk, regardless of whether they have eaten a lot or not. So, instead of worrying excessively about eating before swimming, we should pay attention to other factors such as choosing light foods, prioritizing fruits, yogurt, bread, etc., eating moderately before swimming. Avoid overeating or being too hungry. Aim to eat at least 1-2 hours before swimming. Always warming up and preparing your body before entering the water. Swimming with others, as having someone nearby can make you feel safer. Eating before swimming is not as scary as we think. What's important is to eat properly and take precautions to prevent accidents. So enjoy swimming comfortably. Just remember to eat sensibly to ensure your safety. If you have any questions about swimming, consult a medical expert. Thank you for watching. That's all for today. Goodbye and see you next time.
Bye-bye.